So, when I was a child, one of my very favorite toys was the set of Legos that belonged to me and my brother. And in this episode, I want to talk about what Legos can teach you about creating your online course. So, let's jump in.
Welcome to the Course Creators HQ podcast, helping you navigate the latest techniques for creating and marketing online courses. And now, here is your host, Julie Hood.
So I'm so excited. We are 2 weeks out from the next topic and title challenge, and it's a free 5-day challenge where we are going to work on figuring out what your topic should be and figuring out the best and most intriguing title that we can come up with for you. And it's free, so come join us at topicandtitlechallenge.com. Just opt in and it will make sure you get all the information and get the login to get to Facebook and get the workbook. And I hope you'll join me. It's one of my favorite weeks of the year, and I get a chance to work with you and find out all about what you've got cooking for your online course business. So come join us at topicandtitlechallenge.com. So when my kids were young, I was always on the hunt for the toys that could help them develop better life skills, better character traits. And I realized as I was thinking about this that one of my favorite tools is actually a really great metaphor for what it takes to create an online course. So I loved playing with this set of Legos that we had, and it belonged to me and my brother. And yes, I'm old. This was back when you would buy Legos that you got a set of a bunch of different pieces, and then you would get an instruction book with all of these different toys and different things that you could build. It wasn't like today's sets where you buy a specific item that you're going to create from your Legos. It was more of a general kind of tool set, and then you would put it together in lots of different ways to create all these different cool toys that you could build out of the different size Legos. So as I was thinking about this, I realized that one of the first things it teaches is really having patience with getting a project done, or having patience with finishing your online course, because our set wasn't specific to a certain type of toy that you were creating. It really took a lot of time to get it finished. You had to follow all the individual instructions and look at every piece, and we'd get to the messy middle of the project and be like, oh my gosh, this thing is never going to get done. You know, I'd kind of lose interest because it seemed like it was more difficult and was going to take so long, and be ready to quit. But then if we persevered and hung in there and had patience to finish, by the time we were done, we had this really cool toy made out of all the Legos that we pulled together. So the first thing Legos can teach you is having patience with the time that the project is going to take to finish. The second thing I think it can teach you is that with the right pieces, we could create some really amazing things. And so this is similar to with your online course. When you're using the right tools, you can create an amazing course. So it's taking the time to make sure that you have the right pieces of the puzzle, so that we had the right pieces of the Legos to put together the toy that we were wanting, because there were all of these different pieces, and we had to kind of figure out like which ones were going to work, and did we have all the pieces that we needed for a specific toy. And so when you're putting your course together, it's a very similar thing, because you have to sit down and sort of figure out, what are all the pieces I need? What are all the things I have to do? I was working with a VIP day client this weekend, and that was one of the big things we were trying to come up with for her, was a comprehensive list of this is everything that you need to do yet in order to pre-launch your course. So it was similar when you're putting Legos together. to make sure that you have all the right pieces and all the right tools to make the toy that you were trying to create. Number 3 was that the Lego toys came together so much faster when I had instructions and when I had a little help along the way. Sometimes my parents would jump in if we would get stuck on things. So it's a similar sort of situation. Can you figure out how to do an online course by yourself? Probably. You could spend hours and hours and hours on YouTube looking through videos and getting 15 different ideas and then having to figure out, okay, which one am I going to believe and who am I going to follow and what do I like? Or you can join courses, you can get help from experts who want to show you how to do it and who want to share all their experiences of what worked and what didn't along the way. So it'll save you hours and hours and hours of time when you're working with someone who can provide some additional instruction and tell you about some of the potholes that could get in the way. So that's number 3. You can create your course faster when you have some help. And then number 4, just the act of getting to the finish line and being proud of not only the time that we spent on putting the Lego toys together, but being proud of the fact of getting frustrated and still being resilient of, I'm going to get this done regardless of how frustrating or annoying or difficult this is. And so this happens a lot when you're doing your online course creation. You know, there's lots of frustrating things, or as I've heard one of my coaches say, you can do hard stuff. So, you know, being able to jump in and cope with that frustration and not just drop the whole project or put it off until later. That's one of those skills that you can use for your course creation and also really well developed from playing with Legos. So number 5 is that even though we were all working with the same set of Lego pieces, the same set of Lego blocks, there were all kinds of completely different projects that you could create because the pieces had all different sizes and colors and different ways of putting the pieces together. We could, no matter who it was, different people would come up with completely different toys out of the back end. So course creators are like this too. You know, we all have the same basic tool set to use, but each one of our courses are going to be so unique on the back end, mostly because they're going to be based on the experiences that the instructor has had and the way they teach. So those are 2 things when you're considering working with someone. You need to look at, first of all, what kind of experiences have they had? And then second of all, what do you think about their teaching style? So that's why I do the topic and title challenge. I want to give you guys a chance to work with me and see what it's like, what my teaching style is like, and see if you like to work together further. So I hope you'll join us for the challenge and use that Lego concept that all courses can be created with the same tool set, but they'll be completely different, even if the pieces are the same that you're starting with. So we all have similar courses out there, but they're unique enough and the teaching style is unique enough that there's room for lots and lots of different courses on the same topic. And actually, if you're seeing courses on your topic, that's a great thing. And here's why. It means that there's an audience for your course. It means that someone else has been able to find some people that are purchasing the course. If you have something that is so unique that you can't even find something similar online, you'll have the additional technique of needing to explain it to people or explain the concept to people. So it's actually easier if there are courses similar in concept to your course out there when you're doing your research. Okay, number 6 from working with Legos is keeping up with all the details. So there were lots and lots of pieces and lots of instructions for the puzzle, lots and lots of details. So the same thing happens when you're working on your online course. There are lots and lots of moving pieces that need to be pulled together organized and to help you get your whole project into place and finished, there's lots of moving parts that you need to keep up with. So if you are not good at that, if you are not a manager of details and you don't like that stuff, I recommend hiring somebody to kind of be your project manager and keep you on task. If you are decent at it, you can use a spreadsheet. I have lesson planners that I give to my clients to help them stay organized with all the different files that they're creating and the lessons and the outline. So that's one of the things that really helps them stay organized. So figure out your process. Like, are you going to be the project manager of your online course, or are you going to hire someone to help you keep everything organized and get it all uploaded to your hosting and deal with all the moving parts of the puzzle? And then number 7 is problem solving and what's called lateral thinking. So I found this phrase online and I was like, what is lateral thinking? I haven't heard that before. So it's actually the ability to use your imagination to look at a problem in a different way and come up with a new solution. So it's being able to, I guess, think outside the box and come up with solutions to a problem that you're having. So that's also a really good skill to have when you're stuck somewhere along the line and you're trying to figure out, how the heck do I get this set up? What do I need to do next? How can I think outside the box for not only setting up my course, but maybe for some of my students? Like, I need to come up with something unique for them, a different way to approach it, a different way to teach it. That lateral thinking, or being able to use your imagination and come up with a different technique, is really, really helpful. The second piece of that is when you're putting your course together, if you can come up with your own framework, your own blueprint, or the steps or the way that you do things, that will make your course that much more unique and that much easier to sell. So I'll give you an example to help this be more concrete. For my Course Profits Accelerator group that we do 6 months of coaching to help people sell their courses. And I've put together my own framework for this, and that's the 10 profit levers. So do people teach those concepts elsewhere and in their own framework? Yes, but I have it specifically set up in my framework, which is the 10 profit levers. And we talk about in the training and the coaching, how are you going to put your profit levers into place? And here's the 10 of them, so you can figure out which ones you're going to do now and which ones you're going to do later. So that framework of those 10 levers is unique to me, and I teach it in a unique way. So I had to use some imagination and some history of working with online marketing to come up with that framework. So you want to use your lateral thinking to not only help solve problems as you're creating your online course, but also to help you put your course together, to come up with some imaginative ways to teach. So that's number 7. Number 8 is Legos can teach you to be creative and sort of experiment. So when we would get really brave, instead of using the instructions that showed me exactly how to build this house or this toy or this spaceship, we'd get creative and just sit down with the actual blocks and see what could we put together and what could we come up with. So what was fun about that was nothing that we put together was really a failure, because each time we worked with the blocks a little bit more, we'd learn something about how they would work together or what they would look like. So even if it didn't come out exactly the way I wanted, initially I got an idea of some of the possibilities of, oh, look how this works together. Look how this fits together. So as you're going through not only your marketing, but especially as you're trying to create, you want to have that creative idea in the back of your mind so that you're willing to step out of what you've normally done before, do something new, and be okay with the fact that some of it may not work, may not come out exactly the way you want, but it's learning, it's not failing. And that means that you can then keep experimenting, keep trying, move on to the next thing, try something new, and see how that works. So that's going to be a big message during the 5-day challenge that's starting on January the 24th, 2022. So I really hope you'll take the time to sign up and join us, especially since it's free. So topicentitledchallenge.com. Come be creative with us. Let's figure out your online course topic, determine what your title should be, and figure out what can happen for you in the year ahead with an online course adding to your business. Hope you will join us, and I want to say thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for following and subscribing the Course Creators HQ podcast. If you want to talk about this a little bit more, come join the link in the show notes to come talk on GoodPods. It's a really fantastic player that you can use to play your podcast and also to have almost like a Facebook group where we can talk about each of the episodes. So if you have questions or you want to connect a little bit more, use that link in the show notes, coursecreatorshq.com/77, and come join us on GoodPods. I also recommend some of my favorite podcasts on there. So if you're looking for some other new things to listen to, come join us. And have a really fantastic, amazing week. 2022 is off to a roaring start, so I hope you are having a good couple weeks of January so far, and I will talk to you again soon. Come join us for the challenge, and take care. Talk to you on the next episode.